Amid renewed excitement about manned missions and returning to the moon, this distant spacecraft has quietly slipped beyond the familiar into a realm we've only imagined. What it found there changes everything. A boundary. A law. A transition so abrupt, so precise, that it proves the edge of our solar system isn't just an idea, it's real. And it may be far more hostile than anyone expected. We often think of space as an empty vacuum, a vast nothingness stretching infinitely in all directions. But Voyager 2 has revealed the opposite. Space is not empty. It's layered, structured, shielded. And the barrier it crossed, it wasn't theoretical. It was physical, tangible, as though space itself had drawn a line, daring us to cross it. Originally launched in 1977, Voyager 2 was only meant to operate for 5 years, 10 if we got lucky. Instead, it has traveled through cosmic radiation, freezing darkness, and unimaginable distances for nearly half a century. And it's still sending data, whispers from the edge of the unknown. Now, Voyager 2 has officially joined its twin, Voyager 1, in interstellar space. It's one of only 2 human-made objects ever to escape the sun's protective bubble. And what it crossed wasn't just a metaphorical line, it was a measurable shift. NASA recorded a sudden spike in plasma density, a jolt in temperature, a dramatic rise in radiation levels, all at once. No gradual fading. No slow transition. It was as if the spacecraft passed through an invisible wall, a membrane separating our solar system from the rest of the galaxy. Even more astonishing, the sun's magnetic field and the interstellar magnetic field beyond were found to be perfectly aligned. That wasn't predicted. In fact, it contradicted decades of models. Scientists expected chaos, a clash of magnetic forces, a turbulent boundary. What they got instead was eerie precision. The data showed galactic cosmic rays increasing by nearly 70% the moment Voyager 2 left the heliosphere, the sun's magnetic shield. It was like stepping out of a protective dome into the raw, energetic wilds of deep space. Space, it turns out, isn't silent out here. It's louder, more charged, more dangerous. Voyager also uncovered something else. The edge of the solar system isn't smooth or stable. It's alive, breathing. The sun's magnetic field expands and contracts every 11 years, creating pulses that stretch and warp the boundaries of our solar neighborhood. Think of a cell under a microscope, its outer wall soft, shifting, reacting to external forces. That's what surrounds us. Depending on the timing and location, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 crossed this border at different distances and encountered entirely different conditions. It means the boundary isn't fixed. It moves. It changes. It reacts. And if the edge of our solar system is dynamic, possibly even alive, then what lies beyond it? Voyager 2 is still drifting outward, but its time is running out. By 2025, its power supply, a small nuclear battery, will fade. And when that happens, one of humanity's most legendary messengers will go silent forever. On board is the iconic Golden Record, a time capsule of Earth's voices, music, and images. A message in a bottle sent across the stars. It tells whoever finds it where we are, who we are, what we are. But now that we know this part of space is active, structured, and anything but empty, we have to ask, was that wise? Some see it as an act of cosmic courage. Others call it a risk we didn't fully understand. Either way, the beacon is out there now, pointing straight back to us. Voyager 2 is no longer just exploring space, it has become part of it. A tiny spark floating through a region where the rules begin to change, where space no longer behaves the way we thought it did. Its final message is clear: we're not drifting into silence. We're crossing into something else. Voyager 2's journey beyond our solar system was hailed as a triumph of human engineering, a probe traveling billions of kilometers into the unknown. But while the headline celebrated the milestone, some researchers noticed something that didn't quite fit the narrative. When Voyager 2 crossed the heliopause, the invisible boundary where the sun's influence ends, everything changed abruptly. Radiation levels spiked. Magnetic fields twisted sharply. Plasma densities rose like a sudden wall. It wasn't a gentle fade into interstellar space. It was a jolt. A clear line. Like stepping across a threshold someone else had drawn. It made some scientists wonder, what if the heliosphere isn't just a shield protecting us from deep space, but a boundary that's being monitored? A kind of checkpoint? It sounds like science fiction, until you remember that Earth is one of the only known places to harbor life. And when we finally reached beyond our local space bubble, something reacted. Not gradually. Instantly. Even now, decades after launch, Voyager 2 continues transmitting data, whispers from the void. Anomalies. Electromagnetic fluctuations. Signals that don't always add up. Most are dismissed as the effects of cosmic radiation or aging hardware. But a few are harder to explain. In 2019, Voyager 2 went silent. Its instruments powered down without cause. Then, hours later, they came back online, fully functional. NASA called it a glitch. But what kind of glitch switches off a spacecraft in deep space and turns it back on unharmed? Some have speculated that it wasn't just a mechanical issue, but environmental. That maybe the disturbance came from the space around it. That perhaps Voyager 2 didn't just enter empty space, but a new kind of environment. One we don't yet understand. One that might be trying to understand us. When scientists compared data from both Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, something didn't add up. The two probes didn't cross the heliopause at the same distance from the Sun. Not even close. And the differences weren't minor. Plasma pressure. Magnetic shifts. Temperature. They all painted wildly different pictures of what should have been the same boundary. Some blamed solar activity. Others suggested it was a matter of angle. But a few researchers quietly proposed a far more unsettling idea, that the edge of our solar system isn't static. It changes. It adapts. Maybe even responds to what approaches it. What if the boundary isn't a fixed border, but a kind of reactive skin? A living perimeter? If that's true, then Voyager 2 didn't just pass through a line. It interacted with something. Something dynamic. Maybe something old. Maybe something watching. Today, Voyager 2 floats in the vast dark, powerless to steer. Its cameras long shut off. Its signal grows weaker with every passing year. And yet, its journey continues to reveal things we were never prepared for. It's taught us that space isn't just an empty canvas. It's textured. It has form. It has behavior. And that opens up a question humanity has never dared to ask. Have we just brushed against a threshold we were never supposed to find? Because if the boundary of the solar system can shift and respond, then maybe we've been inside something all along. Protected. Contained. Observed. Voyager 2 didn't just drift into deep space. It discovered that deep space isn't as empty as we thought. It's structured. It's active. And it might be aware. For generations, we assumed the universe was a void. A place to explore. But now, we're starting to realize it might be a system. Far more complex. Far more controlled than we imagined. A system with rules, patterns, boundaries, maybe even intentions. When Voyager 2 crossed the heliopause, the invisible boundary where the solar wind meets interstellar space, something strange happened. Instruments began picking up subtle fluctuations in magnetic fields. Unexplained pulses. Rhythmic patterns that seemed deliberate. Not random. Not chaotic. But organized. Almost like the space between stars was sending a message. What if interstellar space isn't just a passive vacuum, but a kind of medium? A medium that reacts. That remembers. One that responds when someone, enters it? So the real question isn't just what lies beyond the edge of our solar system. It's, who or what put that edge there in the first place? What do you think? Was Voyager 2 simply recording natural phenomena? Or did it cross into something unexpected? Let us know in the comments. And if you believe this is just the beginning, if you feel we're on the edge of something far stranger than fiction, subscribe and turn on notifications. Because we're not just exploring space anymore. We're decoding it. And the next signal could change everything. As Voyager 2 continues its silent drift into the cosmic unknown, the questions it has raised become louder than the faint signals it sends back. Its journey has shown that the boundaries we once believed to be theoretical constructs are, in fact, tangible phenomena, shifting, breathing structures that hint at an intelligence or process far beyond our current models. Some theorists now argue that what we've traditionally called interstellar space might better be described as interstellar structure. Not a void, but an architecture. Not a place of nothingness, but a place where laws and constants begin to bend, where the rules of conventional astrophysics strain under the weight of new data. The universe may not be a random scattering of galaxies and particles in chaos. It could be more akin to a machine, or a mind. What Voyager 2 has touched may not only be the outer membrane of the solar system, but the beginning of a more organized cosmic framework. Some propose the concept of galactic zones, regions of space with different physical rules or frequencies, much like climate zones on Earth. The moment Voyager 2 crossed into one of these zones, the changes were immediate and unambiguous: magnetic alignment, radiation surges, and plasma pressure shifts all occurring without gradual transition. It was as though the spacecraft passed from one room into another, crossing through an unseen door that had always been there, waiting. That abruptness, that jarring shift, is what has captivated and unsettled scientists the most. In every experiment, gradual change is expected. Entropy, after all, is a slow decay. But this was something else entirely. It defied thermodynamics. It echoed the engineered. What if space behaves like a containment field? What if solar systems aren't just clusters of matter and energy flung into the void, but isolated environments monitored for reasons we have yet to comprehend? The implications stretch the imagination. What if the stars themselves are beacons, networked relays maintaining balance, monitoring movement, and perhaps even enforcing rules? As Voyager 2 hurtles forward, powered only by its diminishing nuclear heart, it acts as both observer and participant. It is no longer merely gathering data. It may now be interacting with a reality layered beneath the surface of what we thought we knew. And this raises one final, perhaps unthinkable possibility. If there is structure, if there is intelligence or design at play, then perhaps the very act of our reaching out, of breaking through, has triggered something. A response. A recognition. A preparation. And so the golden record, once a symbol of optimism and curiosity, takes on a second meaning. It is no longer just a message to the stars. It is now a breadcrumb, a signal pointing back to our origin. A signal that tells the unknown exactly where to look if it chooses to look back. The moment we crossed that threshold, we may have ceased to be invisible. In fact, Voyager 2's journey may mark the beginning of a new epoch in human history, one in which we are no longer passive explorers of a static universe, but conscious participants in a dynamic, potentially inhabited cosmic system. And if that's true, if we have made first contact not with a civilization, but with the architecture of the universe itself, then everything changes. Every assumption, every model, every notion of our solitude must be rewritten. Voyager 2 was not just an expedition, it was a declaration. A whisper in a dark cathedral of stars, now echoing far louder than we ever expected. The next question isn't how far we can go, it's who or what was already there, waiting for us to arrive.